Unit 7, Genetics and Evolution. In this unit, we will be studying some aspects of genetics and some aspects of evolution. Genetics, as you know, is the study of inheritance, the study of heredity, whereas evolution is the progressive change that has taken place in living organisms over long period of time. In genetics, we will be studying about the principles of inheritance and variations. We will be studying about the molecular basis of inheritance, whereas in evolution, we will be studying about the theories of evolution, the evidences in favor of evolution, and some aspects of human evolution. Let us first begin with genetics, and we move on to chapter 5. This is on the principles of inheritance, principles of inheritance and variation. Inheritance, the word inheritance means transfer of characters. Transfer of characters from one generation to another, from the parental generation to the offspring. Whenever there is inheritance, whenever there is transfer of characters, there is bound to be variations, particularly if there are organisms exhibiting sexual reproduction. Variations are the differences that offspring exhibit compared to their parents. So differences in the offspring compared to the parents, they are called variations. The pattern of transfer of characters is what is called as inheritance. In the pattern of inheritance, variations play a very important role, and in bringing about these variations, the environment plays a very important role. So there are three aspects here: inheritance, variations, and environment. Genetics is the study of inheritance, variations, and the role of environment in bringing about variations. So all these put together forms a branch of biology called genetics. There was no definite idea about how characteristics are inherited in living organisms till about 17th or 18th century. Particularly in animals, it was believed that there is transfer of blood transfer of blood from the mother organism to the offspring, and during this transfer there may be a transfer of mixed blood from the two parents to the offspring, and that is responsible for mixing of characters in the offspring. This idea was known as blending theory of inheritance. Blending theory of inheritance. For a long time it was believed that blending of characters of the parent appears in the offspring due to mixing of the blood and transfer of blood. It was only the experiments conducted by Gregor Johann Mendel, an Austrian, which established a new idea and totally disproved the idea of blending theory of inheritance. The idea put forth by Mendel came to be known as the particulate theory of inheritance. Particulate theory of inheritance, because Mendel suggested the idea that there are certain particles that get transferred from the parent to the offspring. So characters are inherited in the form of particles. What are these particles? Mendel could not say. Mendel conducted all his experiments between 1862 and 1866. For about 4 or 5 years he conducted a series of experiments. We will come back to that. Based on the results of his experiments, he suggested the idea that there are certain particles that are responsible for the transfer of characters, and therefore this idea later was found to be true. So blending theory of inheritance gradually became replaced by particulate theory of inheritance. Let us now see what experiments were conducted by Mendel that gave a firm foundation for understanding the pattern of inheritance.